I don't think I've really had these two in play together. These little dragon tokens are going to make a lot of big dragon tokens. That's pretty cool. Today on Commander Replay, we check out this Karrthus Jund Dragons deck and try to breathe fire on all of our opponent's stuff. Next on Commander Replay. Hey guys, there's two great ways to support the channel. All links are in the description below. I got some new merch available. The official Commander Replay mug is now available in blue and colors beside blue. Welcome back everyone. Playing some Karrthus, Tyrant of Jund Dragons today. And today's deck list comes to us from Patreon supporter Jeff. Let's take a look at this opener. 2 lands is a little dicey. If we had a third land, I'd probably keep it, but since we don't, I'm gonna mulligan. No red mana in this hand. I think I'm gonna go to 6. Yeah, that's Strip Mine. I mean, it's not that you're not gonna run Strip Mine, you just don't want to see it in your opener when you've got a lot of colors that you're trying to cover. So we're gonna mulligan that. I guess it's gonna have to be this one. What's this one do? Oh, it's a cool card. I've never used that card. We'll keep. I think Backdraft Hellkite's going to the bottom. I like that card, and I always want to use it more than I do. I think it's the worst card in our hand right now, so. There's a Fabled Passage. What's this one do? Choose a creature type. Add mana of the type for the chosen creature. Yeah, that's not awful. We'll go Fabled Passage. Does look like we need some red mana. Get a mountain. Pass like that. So yeah, we'll take a read of our commander. It's Karrthus Tyrant of Jund, 7 mana for a 7/7 with flying and haste. When it enters the battlefield, gain control of all dragons, then untap all dragons. Other dragons you control have haste. Karrthus is a really good and powerful dragon commander. As I recall, I think he got very expensive when the C17 Dragons deck came out, and I haven't looked at the price since, but... Ooh, a border post for opponent. You don't see many of those. We'll play this Secluded Courtyard, choosing dragon, and we'll tap out and pass. Okay, Karrthus Tyrant of Jund got a reprint in Double Masters. It's now about $4. I think they were like $25 or so when C17 came out, which is kind of rough. It's kind of rough. But yeah, gain control of all dragons, and those dragons have haste. Really good if your opponents have dragons for one reason or another. Or like if someone's playing Changeling Tribal, any of those type of decks, Karrthus is going to be really good against those two. And then beyond all of that, it's just a 7/7 flying with haste, which is, kind of a brick wall. There just aren't a lot of things in the air bigger than 7/7. Gala Greeters. ETB, counter on it, treasure token, or gain 2 life. Oh, it's whenever another creature enters the battlefield. Okay, whoops. Brave the Sands for opponent. I've talked about it a bunch. This is the card that I always want to get into a deck, and it just never makes the cut. It was always the 101st card for, I don't know, the first 3 or 4 years of this channel. Anyway, it brings it back to our turn. Let's play the Llanowar Wastes. We'll cast the Garruk's Uprising. I'm trying to save up on this Skyclave Relic to kick it. This deck does need a lot of mana, and I'd rather get the big mana mode off of this thing. Euro Titan of Nature's Wrath. Ugh, what a disgusting card. It's gonna get sacrificed immediately because they did not escape it. But they will gain 3 life and draw a card and put a land onto the battlefield. Why? Why did this card get printed? Basically generate all of your resource types and then throw it onto a 6/6 that can trigger very often. Palm Face. Here's a Scavenging Ooze. Could be good against that Euro. Opponent's gonna make a treasure token, yeah. I'm gonna send the 1/1 into the Volrath deck. Kodama of the West Tree. Yeah. I could go for one of those right now and just get some lands going. Oh, there's a Farseek. That should get us some ramp. Play the Twilight Mire. I think that's going to help out a lot with this Skyclave Relic too, because this Skyclave Relic was starting to look a little slow, but this should help a lot. So play the Farseek. I'm going to get more red because, dragons are predominantly red. So we'll get the Stomping Ground. Not paying. And nothing left to do with the 2, so we'll tap out and pass once again. Next turn, look at the Skyclave Relic. And then after that, we probably have to think about the board wipe if people start getting stuff in. Volrath into play. That is Sean piloting Volrath the Shapestealer, a card that I feel like hasn't gotten a great viewing on this channel, a card that I've always kind of wanted to revisit. Just haven't gotten around to it, and I don't know, I think there's a lot of interesting things you can do with this card that I'd like to explore, but I just don't know when I'm going to get around to it, so hopefully Sean has a good showing with it today. Halana and Alena coming in, yup. Things in this deck get big really quickly. Creates a tapped treasure token, combat trigger, gonna pump up the Gala Greeters. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put X +1/+1 counters on another target creature where X is Halana and Alena's power. That creature gains haste. It's pretty good. Reminiscent of Xenagos, just that it goes about doing it a different way. So like equipment are really good with Halana, and you just end up with a giant team of stuff that's basically impossible to attack into and kills you very quickly. Amulet of Vigor. Oh, that's interesting. That zombie caller, by the way, piloting Emmara Tandris. There's one I haven't seen. Prevent all damage that will be dealt to creature tokens you control, and it's a 5/7. Perhaps a little overcosted at 7 mana, but that's a decently strong effect. Your tokens can't take damage is like pretty sweet, but yeah, I don't know, just at 7 mana, you probably want a little more out of that. Plays a Selesnya Sanctuary with Amulet of Vigor. There's a Nyx Lotus, yeah. It comes in tapped. That's pretty cool. It's only making 1 mana currently, but still. Getting it in untapped. That's the biggest drawback with that card. I think this card would see a lot more play if it didn't enter tapped. It's still worth it for like mono white decks, especially, even maybe like mono red or something. Depends what you're doing. If you just need like a lot of mana in your deck, it is a very reasonable card to have around. I should probably put one in my allies deck, actually, because that deck is super mana hungry. Opponent's going to send the Kodama our way. Yeah, it's going to get us for 2, but has a counter on it. They will be able to get themselves a land. There's the trigger. That land will untap because of the amulet. Zombie had a nice little turn 4 there. Got a lot of value going. Brings back to our turn. There's a Chromatic Lantern. More ramp. Play the Cavern of Souls. Choosing Dragon. Let's get the Skyclave Relic in. Cast with Kicker. Man, I really wish the copies didn't come in tapped on this thing. I don't think it would be busted if they did, because there are other pay 6, get 3 mana rocks out there, and like they don't even see that much play. This one's better because it's any color and it's indestructible, which is really nice, but still, even if they came in untapped, I don't think it would be busted. Excellent. D-Manny's gonna exile the Euro. We won't have to deal with that later in the game. Love it. Runo Stromkirk. That's spicy. You can do the Runo thing. Top card was not a creature. Or no, they didn't have any creatures in their graveyard, so they lose that one. Growing Rites of Itlamok is a card. Finds himself a Shipbreaker Kraken. Pretty nasty card. Put a minus counter on something if he wants. Gonna minus this thing. Invigorating Hot Spring. Not a card on my radar. Enters with 4 +1/+1 counters. Modified creatures you control have haste. Remove a +1/+1 counter. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Activated only as a sorcery and only once each turn. Interesting. Good for a counters deck for sure. Gives stuff haste and allows you to move them around. Treetop Village. Gonna animate the Treetop Village. Gonna put a counter on Halana. Gonna pump up the Treetop Village. That's interesting because like even if a board wipe goes off, you know, this will just be kind of hanging out later in the game, and it's the type of thing that could get you. Cast the Shadow Spear. Goes no attacks. Interesting. Maybe worried about possibility of us having haste or, you know, the 7/5 over here. Not sure. There's a Shaya. Ew. Non-token creatures you control are forest lands in addition to their other types. Kodama gonna come back into us for 2 more. Get that land. Amulet of Vigor. And Zombie's going to cast his commander. Emmara Tandris coming in. Brings back to our turn. There's a Rootbound Crag. Play the Rootbound Crag. The choices here are Crux of Fate or cast our commander. I think I'm going to cast our commander. And then I'm going to leave up the... we could also get the Chromatic Lantern in. Let's see what the card draw does. Another land. Yeah. There's the gain control of all dragons triggers. I don't believe there's any in play. There is not. There's a lot of small creatures out here, and Karrthus actually blocks really well. So, that being the case, I think I'm just going to sit on this Spitflame and maybe think about shooting this Halana and Alena, just because this thing gets out of hand really quickly if it stays in play. If some wackiness happens with Runo, then maybe we think about shooting that also with the Spitflame. Runo trigger reveals a Helm of Awakening. That's interesting. Are we casting a Helm of Awakening? Gets himself a Gaia's Cradle also. There's the Shipbreaker Kraken. There's the Helm of Awakening. They cast it second. That's not the best way to do that. That's a risky card to play. Luckily, our opponents don't have too many cards in hand, so they should run out. There were 2 dragons that weren't available on Magic Online, and I replaced those with card draw in this deck. I do think that this deck is a little bit light on the ramp and card draw for what you want in a deck that has a lot of high drops in it. Oh, nice. Sean... Ooh, oh, my. Okay, that thing's giant. Sean uses Volrath to copy Halana. When they go to combat, they put the Halana trigger on this Runo. Runo's now an 8/11 flying. It's pretty big. And he's just going to go straight after D-Manny. Love it. Takes a shot for 8, down to 33. Krenko Tin Street Kingpin coming in. That's a card. That can make a lot of tokens with that deck. Gonna gain 2 life. With the Shadow Spear on Krenko. Ah, crap. I meant to Spitfire... We're going to Spitfire Halana. Yeah, we're going to Spitfire Halana. Meant to do this before the trigger went off, but he doesn't really have a great attack for the Krenko. It's an 8-8 over here and a 7-5 and a 6-6 over there, so... Right now, I think we're in, like, slow everyone down until we can get some card draw going. Though, like, I don't want to burn the Crux of Fate if we don't have to. Oh, he's going to send it in to Sean. It'll get a counter. Oh, yeah. It'll become a 6-7. Yeah, he's got a profitable attack over there. Triggers. Wow, Galagreeters a bunch of times. Although I think they can only choose each mode once. Yeah, there you go. I want to get 6 1/1s. Yeah. He's going to Scavenging Ooze our Spitflame. Don't love it. Did not think about that. Probably could have just held it, honestly. Sean's going to block and trade. Love it. Wait. Oh, he has first strike. Never mind. Yeah, down goes the Krenko. Okay. Slow D-Manny down a little. Archetype of Endurance is a magic card. Team Hexproof. Tawashi Guidebot. Pay 4, tap it, draw a card. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each modified creature you control. That's interesting. When it ETBs, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. That's a cool card. I like that. 12-12 over to Sean. See what he wants to do with it. He's just going to take 12 to the face. Yeah. That will trigger Kodama. Amulet of Vigor. Decimate is a magic card. Play the Luxury Suite. What are we going to decimate? Enchantment, Artifact, although Helm of Awakening is also scary. If someone hits like a big card draw spell, then you can just go wild with Helm. Land, Cradle. The problem is if we do that, we will most certainly be attacked. So, like, I think I'm going to wait on all of this. Here's the Chromatic Lantern. So one of the things I was worried about when I was trying to, like, size up the power level of the deck before the game with opponents is that, like, we've seen this deck on camera a few times, and it's just, it hasn't been consistent. And I think that's the ramp in the card draw. Kind of coming back to bite it a little bit. So we're just going to try to stay neutral here. See how bad things get this turn. I guess if worst case scenario, if opponent wants to attack us, we block, let this die, and then we can recast it, draw another card. It's not the worst thing ever. I mean, one thing I didn't think about, they'll probably get the chance to flip this over. I mean, if they cast one more creature, they will be able to, so. Still, if we do it last turn, we definitely get attacked. So, we're not in a position where we can take that kind of heat yet, so. Also, it might be nice if, like, someone else has a piece of removal somewhere that, you know, so we can kind of size things up a little better. Reveals the Dark Depths. Has 10 counters on it. That's also a land worth shooting. Monstrosity 4, gonna tap down a bunch of stuff. It's a 10-10. He's going to tap our commander. Ooh, we're going to be wide open for a turn here. Yeah, don't love that. Probably going to Crux of Fate this turn. Just trying to slow roll everything, see where it gets us, but just because we don't have a lot else to do. Volrath's going to become a copy of the Galagreeters. Interesting. I might have stayed on Halana and Alena because we make this thing massive. 8-11 over to Zombie. 10-10 up to D-Manny. Nothing our way. That's cool. I'm worried about the amount of damage that's on board right now. It's kind of scary. Yeah, he's going to block with a 1-1. Whoa, it doesn't untap during our untap step? Wow, that's rough. Yeah, definitely going to be the Crux of Fate then. I'm hoping D-Manny recasts Alena right here just so we can catch it with the Crux of Fate, because that'll really run up his mana cost. Note that we'd have to decimate before we Crux of Fate, unless we wanted to shoot our commander, which, again, isn't the worst idea. Struggle. Deals damage to target creature equal to the number of lands you control. Takes down his commander. Nice. Not going to get that Halana recast, though. Snake Umbra. Opponent hits with the Goblin. They get to draw a card because of the Snake Umbra. Equips the Shadow Spear. Nice. Importantly, he tapped out. I was thinking, like, what if he has Heroic Intervention? That would be pretty bad. But we should be in the clear for that now. A lot of people tapped out, so Zombie's going to get a pretty good shot in combat here. Draws a card with the Tawashi Guidebot. Yeah. I'm jealous. We need to draw cards. Kodama our way. He's going to stay on that plan. Ashaya our way. We're going to feel that one. Changes his mind on the Kodama, though. We go down to 20. That's a shot. He's going to get 2 lands. Yeah, that's pretty good. They'll come in untapped. Well, we could have Crux of Fated last turn, but no one really cast creatures this turn, so I was hoping we'd get a little more advantage out of it by waiting, but I do think it's time now. Pyre of Heroes is a magic card. Ooh, you know what Pyre of Heroes does? Gets our commander out of play, which I really like. And importantly, gets us another dragon. I do like that a lot. Okay, let's Crux of Fate, destroying all non-dragons. And opponents are all low on cards and mostly tapped out, so this is going to hurt them. They're going to feel this one. Only the Goblin token left and our commander. We're going to play the Pyre of Heroes. We're going to activate the Pyre of Heroes. Sacrifice our commander. Back to the command zone. Hopefully there's an 8-drop in here. There are 2. Hellkite Overlord and Utvara Hellkite. We'll go for the Hellkite, although I do really like Hellkite Overlord. It's just a card that makes me happy. There is certainly a reason that you could go for that right here and just get down to attacking right away. Utvara is more of the spirally type of card if you let it stay in play for a turn or two, where Hellkite gives you that immediate attack. But we do draw a card, which is also awesome. Haven't done enough of that this game. Pyre of Heroes, crazy in tribal decks. Like, it fundamentally changes decks where you didn't have a great ability to search for particular creatures. Just really changes the landscape. Can we get this thing into play? We can. Love it. Cast the Dragon Broodmother. Another Garruk's Uprising trigger. Into a Thunderbreak Regent, which is another dragon. More card draw next turn. And so, like, next turn we could probably go, like, Thunderbreak Regent, cast our commander, and then whack someone pretty hard, I think is the plan. Unless a board wipe shows up. And we'll get to make a bunch of tokens with the Dragon Broodmother right here. Each upkeep, create a 1/1 red and green dragon with flying and devour 2. Sean passes without doing anything. I hope it's not a rift. We get another token. No devour. What does it say? Whenever a dragon you control attacks, create a 6/6 red dragon creature token. Yeah. These little dragon tokens are going to make a lot of big dragon tokens. That's pretty cool. I don't think I've really had these two in play together. I don't tend to run Dragon Broodmother that much, even though it is a really good card. I just haven't had this opportunity all that much. This is a very strong interaction. Timeless Witness. Uh-oh. He doesn't have anything too crazy in his graveyard. He has a struggle, I guess. That can kill something. Getting the struggle. They have 7 lands, so yeah, they can pop the Hellkite if they want. Not going to get that giant attack in. Yep, shooting the Hellkite. That kind of has to happen. Nothing good's coming from that staying in play. Moves a counter to the Timeless Witness. And going to put the Shadow Spear on it. Take a peek at the deck list, see what things we can tutor up with Pyre of Heroes. Some cool stuff at 5. Gonna swing over to Zombie. We get another dragon token. I am going to Devour this time just so we can get a little more heft into play, because it is a Devour 2. So that makes it 3/3. Shifting gears a little bit with that after the Hellkite going down. D-Manny does have a Rogue's Passage. That's one you got to watch out for with that deck. Emmara back to play. Mirror Entity. Oh, yeah. Brings it back to our turn. Dragon Broodmother. We'll Devour the 1/1. There's a mountain. Play a mountain. Play the Thunderbreak Regent. Draw a card. Siphon Mind. Cast Siphon Mind. We definitely want that card draw. Also, opponents are low on cards. This will be pretty backbreaking. Here's one you really don't see that much of anymore, but still a really good card. We get a Goblin and Archomancer. And another mountain. Oh, right. D-Manny didn't have a card, so we don't draw for D-Manny right there. It's a little awkward. We're on 7 mana, so I think we're one short of recasting our commander. Yeah, we're going to be one short of that. So I guess we'll activate the Pyre of Heroes. And we'll sacrifice the Thunderbreak Regent. See if there's something cool we can get. Actually, this could be a decent time for the Backdraft Hellkite. Get a little more value going. Oh, that's also not a terrible idea. Kolagon's pretty good, too. This'll speed the game up. Let's go for Kolagon. We draw another card. Garruk's Uprising. Pretty good. Here's a Cultivate. Cast Cultivate. I'm holding back the Anarchomancer because we're already in, like, opponents probably have to wipe the board territory. So I'd probably rather save that one for a rebuild. Get a Swamp and a Mountain. Let's do some attacking. I guess we only have 2 legal attackers. That's frustrating. I thought we were going to get our commander in and have Team Haste, but we do not. 2 Kolagon triggers. If our board sticks, we'll be able to do a lot of damage next turn. We're once again back into a place where having more dragons will be better because of the Kolagon ability, as opposed to a smaller number of bigger ones. 6/4 and a 5/3. Not bad. We get some damage done. He goes down to 28. Make a dragon token. Ooh, at 7 mana we have Bladewing the Risen, which would allow us to get something else back. Like the Utvara, potentially. Or also, there's more dragons at 5 that I kind of want, so like almost thinking about like getting back Thunderbreak Regent just to Pyre of Heroes again. But Utvara would end the game a lot faster. Volrath coming back to play. Yep. Sean could have spent his mana ticking down the Dark Depths, but he didn't. He didn't do anything at the end of his turn. There's a Scry Temple. Another dragon token. We're in a pretty good place. D-Manny has 0 cards. Zombie has 0 cards. Sean doesn't have a ton of mana up. I'm not expecting any interaction between now and our next turn. Halana and Alena back. They do have reach. It's good to keep that in mind. Animate the Treetop Village. Yep, that's still around. Puts a counter on something. I didn't see what. Oh, on his commander. Pumps up the Timeless Witness. It's now a 7/6. That's Haste, Lifelink, Trample. It wouldn't feel great if they attacked us with it. Yeah, here it comes. Also the 6/6. Ooh. Also the 6/6. That's 13. That's like a little more. I mean, they all have Trample. I think we just take and then try to end it on our turn. I don't think chumping with tokens with the Trample really does much for us. Zombie doesn't have Trample, so it makes more sense to Leave up the blockers for him. Down to 7. We're down there. Make another dragon. I always thought this would be a cool commander to build around. Like, you don't necessarily need to specifically go dragons. You could do, like, a mixture of, like, dragons and go-wide tokens. And then you could also throw in, like, all the Maskwood Nexus type stuff. It could be pretty interesting. It could be an interesting aggro deck. Zombies out of cards. Brings it back to our turn. Another dragon token. Oh, that's a Belladross. That is also a magic card. Play the mountain. Won't be able to use the untapped land ability, but I would like to get some pests in just for the life gain. But I think the big thing here is we got to get our commander back into play. See how much mana we have left for things after that. Karrthus coming in. He's going to pump the mirror entity. I don't really know what the plan is, though. Oh, they give all creature types. We're going to steal his stuff. So Karrthus will enter. That'll trigger the Garruk's Uprising. There's a land. I mean, now that we have mirror entity, I think we can really do a lot with that. Go to combat. Send this one into D-Manny. Send, I don't know, like 2 into zombie. One more into D-Manny. This is going to be crazy amounts of damage. This one into Sean. This one into zombie. That one into D-Manny. That one into Sean. That one into Sean. And this one into D-Manny? Declare attackers. Yeah, that's a lot of triggers. Auto those. Was that like 10? Roughly? Oh, I wonder if... I think we should activate the mirror entity now before all the... I don't know if activating the mirror entity now is a bad thing. So we'll just stay away from that. Yeah, there's a lot of damage. We do have trample also, which is helpful. These are 12 ones. Nice. Yeah, man. Kolaghan Storm's Fury. Such a cool card. I gotta build that deck. That'll be a fun deck to build. He's gonna block 1. We still have trample. Blocks another. Still have trample. Find out who survives. There's the trample. Everyone goes down. Yeah, that was a lot of damage. Zombie Caller helped us out a little there. Got us a little extra damage. Actually, like a pretty significant amount, because those were both like 12 ones or something. So, you know, that's a bit. It would have been interesting. We probably, because we could have cast one more dragon also right there. And then maybe did something with Pyre of Heroes if we really needed to, like, get some extra damage in there. But yeah, I think the big thing this game was the board wipe and the fact that our opponents just didn't really draw cards. I think the difference was really in the maybe 5 or 6 extra cards that we drew. So we were able to rebuild a little bit and just get a couple good things in play after the board wipe. And our opponents just didn't do that. They were out of gas by the time that board wipe went off. As far as this deck, I think the big thing is just ironing out the early game. I think there's about 15 pieces of ramp in the deck, but a couple of them are a little bit bigger, like Savage Ventmaw and Old Gnawbone. Undoubtedly good cards, but don't help your early game that much. I really think it's just a matter of getting the ramp and the draw squared away with this deck, and I think that'll get you going on the right path. For this game, like I said, there were 2 dragons that weren't available on Magic Online, so I replaced those with card draw. I do think 27 is probably a better number than 29 for the creature count in this deck, just to make sure that you don't run out of things to do, because like we kind of did for a little while. That wasn't the best. That's an opportunity where we could have lost the game just because we didn't have a lot going on. So yeah, I think just ironing out the ramp and the card draw, getting a little bit more of that stuff, and really kind of focusing in on ramp, card draw, big dragons, right? But otherwise, everything else looks pretty cool. A lot of cool interactions with Dragon Broodmother. Pyre of Heroes was a lot of fun, does crazy stuff. So yeah, besides those, I like everything else that's going on in this deck. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. We have one new Patreon supporter in Patrick Farley. Patrick, you are awesome. If you want to help support the channel, vote on which decks I play next, or get some good games of Spell Table, be sure to check out my Patreon, the link below.